Oh, hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Timbo Took, and this is the joy of painting Middle-earth, a time when we come together to paint the most fantastic landscapes Middle-earth has to offer. And maybe we'll paint a scary one a time or two. That can be quite fun, you know. Now, I may not be the best painter in the Shire, but I do love it so, and I'd love for you to paint right along with me. So if you're ready, grab your paints and your brushes, and let's go on an adventure. All right, thank you for joining me. Let's get to this. We're going to paint a beautiful landscape today. And I just want to remind you, before we get started, that you can purchase some of my prints of the landscapes that I do. This here is, oh, that's Mr. Gandalf fighting that Balrog. Oh, that's right. That's right. You can find these at timbotook.com or just go to the link down in the description. And you can get these. They're nice prints and they look fine on any hobbit hole wall. Now let's get to do this painting. Today we're going to paint, oh, the desolation. That's right, the desolation that was around the lonely mountain. You remember a few weeks ago we painted, oh, Bilbo and the dwarves. They were off on the shore of the river, headed to the lonely mountain, and they're still headed that way. I've got the canvas prepared with some magic white. I put that down on there, and we're gonna come here just with some titanium white, and we're gonna grab some of this ivory black, and we're just gonna put this there. That might be a little too much. We don't want this too dark. We're just gonna add that to the white. There's already white down on the canvas. We just want a gray color here that we can go into this canvas with. That's right, it's a very thick paint. We're gonna come here, we're just gonna put some gray clouds in. That's what we're doing. Just some gray clouds. And just with your 2-inch brush, we're just gonna come in and let's just swirl in some gray clouds. Oh, these are all over. Just right there. There we go. And if that's a little too thick, don't worry. We're going to tone that down. We're going to tone that down. Just make sure you go to all those parts there. We have that magic white, or that liquid white. Oh, you remember that the Blue Wizard taught us how to put down. Bob Ross the Blue. He used to come to the Shire once a week when I was just a boy, and he'd teach us all how to paint. So we're just putting this in. We're just going to put it all over. That's fine. We're going to have some land down here, but we just want this. Oh, it's coming on to the end of the year, towards Durin's Day, as these dwarves and Mr. Bilbo are making their way there. So we just put this in just like that. There we go. It doesn't have to be so much down at the bottom. We're going to have some land in here. But now that we have that, let's clean off this brush and then we'll soften that out. Right, so we're going to use odorless paint thinner I have in my bucket over here. Just wash that off. And then, of course, I have my rubbish bin down here. And we're just going to beat the Sauron out of the brush. So there we go. Nice and clean, nice and clean. We have that brush dried off there. There we go. Now we're just going to come here and we're just going to soften this out. I'm just going to do some strokes right across, just like that. And you see that just softens that out. That just takes those brush strokes away. You can do it up and down, side to side, whatever you want, however soft you want to make it. The more you do it, the softer it'll be. There we go. And you see that quickly. We've just put in this nice gloomy sky that's going to be out there. We're not worried about the clouds too much. It's more of a dense fog, something like that. Oh, and when you get that on there, you're picking up some paint. Just knock that off. There we go. Knock it off. It's nice and clean. And then we come right back to it. There we go. Just softly lighten that. There we are. There we are, right up at the top. And in no time at all, you have that sky that's just a backdrop there. So let's take this brush. We're just going to set this down. we're going to come and we have the Lonely Mountain. That's peeking up back here. We're not quite there yet. Our adventure hasn't taken us all the way there. So we're just going to come into some of this ivory black that we have here. Oh, and we have some of these colors down here. Those won't come in until later. Mostly this is going to be very few colors today. Very few colors because it's a gloomy gray sky. We're going to put that Lonely Mountain. It's back here. And tell you what we're going to do, the Lonely Mountain, it's farther back, so we're going to dull that down a bit. We're just going to take that gray we did for our sky. We're adding some more of that ivory black, but we're dulling that down so that it's not so clear, so bright. It's far away. That's what it is. So we're just going to come, you cut across, get a row of paint right on your palette knife, and you come right up here. And oh, let's see. We're going to come right up this way, and it'll get lost in the clouds back here too. So we just put that in. Maybe this craggy top right there. There we go. We want that. We want right on the edge to be a little more defined, and then we'll just bring it down. Bring that down. There we go. There we are. And we're going to soften this out and just get him lost. Lost in the back. Just bring it down this way. That just kind of looms up back there. Now we're not going to put a lot of details. In fact, we want to soften that out some. So let's just come back. We'll come back to that 2-inch brush. We've got that, and we're just going to pull it down. Just pulling some of that paint right off. There we go. And you can shape your mountain this way a bit. It'll come this way and that. There's not going to be too many details here. Right there. Now we've picked up some paint. We're just going to knock that off. There we go. Now we're just going to take this and we're just going to tap it out there at the bottom. This will get lost in some of those clouds. There we go. There we go. Just tap that out. It's foggy and it's way back there. There we are. Knock that paint off again. You see we're picking that up. We just beat the Sauron out of it, and that paint's nice and clear and it's off. And then just softly, just soften that out. And you see that mountain just gets lost in the mist back there. You can even circle that in, giving a circular appearance to those clouds. Not much back there. If you want to do a little detail on the mountain, you want to give it a little detail back there. Maybe take some of our titanium white. We'll mix that up. Not straight titanium white. Just pull it out. Just get a bit on your palette knife, and we're just going to take it nice and soft. Nice and soft back here. There we go. Just giving a little detail on that mountain, but not too much today. Not too much there. There we go. We just have that mountain sticking up. There it is, back there, looming over the horizon. Not over the horizon, but poking out of the clouds. There we go. Now what we want to do is we want to take, though there's some hills and some mountains and things back here. So we're just going to come into that, coming into that ivory black. We're going to dull that out again, lighten that up. There we go. Just take some of that, just put it on the brush there, and now we're just gonna give some landscape in here. This one, This'll just be these hills, these rolling, rolling hills. We've got a ways before we get back there. That's why it's so far away. Maybe there's a hill that comes in this way. There we are. That'll come down. Maybe this goes up this way. Not putting in a lot of details here. You see, maybe there's one back there. These are all lost in the mist. Lost in the mist there. Just put those in. A little bit more on your brush. There we are. There we are. Now, of course, in my time today, this is a bit busier place. Things aren't like they were back then. Back when old Mr. Bilbo, that's right. My grandgaffer Gamgee used to tell me these stories about Mr. Bilbo and those dwarves that went on that adventure. They went on that adventure. There we are. Right in here. Now, of course, this area, there's not many plants. There's no grass that grows here. This is a place that has seen the worst of it. That dragon came and he burned all of this land back here. All of it back there. We're just gonna fill this in, fill it up. Maybe there's some water down here. So let's put some land in. We're gonna make it a little darker. We're gonna make it a little darker here. The closer it is to us, the more we can kind of see it. Maybe this comes this way. There we go. Maybe that's some water pooling down there. We don't know. We don't know. We'll just put this in. That was a little dark there. That's okay. This is just kind of that craggy ground. As you can see, we're just filling up the canvas. We can, even as we get down towards the bottom, just darken it up, and we'll come back and we'll put some detailing in there. There we go. Get some more of that black. Just put that in there. There we are. There we go. This will be the path that our dwarves are on. Maybe that goes down that way. There we go. We're just putting this ground in, and we'll come back and we'll give some detail there. We'll give some detail. We just want some shades in here. And you can see we've only used just the one, well, two colors, I guess. We've used a little bit of titanium white and just some of that ivory black we've put in there. And we're just going to give that land, we're just going to put some things in here, just give it some texture. Of course, we know this used to be, as Durin told the party, not Durin, I'm mixing up my dwarves, as Thorin told the party, going a little back in time there, as Thorin told the party, this used to be a place that was very lush and green, but then that villain of a dragon came. That villain of the dragon came, and he smote everything. Just so he could see when he looked out. He could make sure there were no trespassers coming. For the land that he stole, that's right, he stole it. He stole it. There we go. And we'll have our path here. Now we'll just set that brush down. We're gonna let's come to this. Oh, we just have a fan brush here. We're gonna take some of that ivory black. Now the trees here, oh, there were no leaves on the trees. They were all burned and charred. So, well, let's put this fan brush back here for now. We're gonna come to a liner brush. We're gonna come to a liner brush. We're gonna take some of this black here. We're just gonna make that kind of inky. And we have some trees back here. Oh, these are just burnt stumps is what they are. Burnt stumps, so you can put those in. And you just put them here and there. There we go. These trees, it's been a long time since they've grown. And very long. Just come back, get some more. These don't need real good shapes. They're all just burnt to a crisp. That dragon didn't want anybody sneaking up on him as he slept. That's for sure, but it's been a long time since anybody ventured in this area. That's right. That's right, old Mr. Bilbo and these dwarves. They were taking a risk being there. And we just fill this up. We're just going to fill this up. And the further back, the smaller they are. As you come forward, they'll get a little bigger. That's why I put that fan brush back. I was going to start with a fan brush, but I didn't want to make ones that close to us. I wanted to make these ones, all back here. All back here. We'll just make that a short, stumpy one. Right there. There we go. And we'll just put these in. We're just going to put a number of them in. There we go. Some of them might be, they cracked and fell over. There we go. This is the Desolation of Smaug. So if you've heard that term before, what that desolation is, it's that area leading up to the Lonely Mountain where everything has been burned to a crisp. And there's no coming back from that. Not when you have a dragon that makes sure it doesn't come back. He makes sure of that. There we go. We just put these in, just fill this area in. That's right. A little more paint thinner. If that's starting to get a little thick on you, you want that like ink, so it just slides right off your brush. There we go. As they get closer to you, they'll get a little taller, a little thicker. Not that they're taller and thicker than any of these in the back, but they're just closer so you can see them more. There you go. If there was maybe a branch stuck out on some of those, and you can make some of them just laying on the ground back here. You can do that because these all got broken off by that heat. So there must be sticks lying around everywhere. There we go. We just make that area just kind of full of stuff. And you can spend most of your day if you want. You can spend a whole afternoon just filling this up with these. We're just putting them in for now just so you have an idea of what it looks like here. It must have been a mess. A real mess. There we go. There we go. This tree is a little closer, so it's going to start higher. And it's going to move right down like that. There we are. Now let's even come to that. We already loaded paint up on this fan brush, so let's see what we can do with that. Maybe we have one right here that's closer. That'll come right there. There we go. That brush is getting a little squirrely on me. Just bring that down there. Do another one right over here. Maybe this one's a little taller right here. And these are broken and burned, so if there's little stringy things coming off there, that's fine. That's fine. Now we did this, we're going to make this a little bit of water down here. So we're going to bring this that's going to be a bit of the reflection. Hopefully that works out. Hopefully that works out. And we'll do another one right here on the shore. Coming right over the top of that. And I'm just going to bring this up. I'm going to start here. Bring that up towards it. There we go. Now what we'll do is I'm going to take a clean, dry, I've got this 1-inch brush here. And I'm just going to just lightly run that across. Making that just some water that's collected there. Now we can even come back to our palette knife. We got that. Let's give that a little shoreline there, just coming back into some of that. And we'll just come right here. Just make this some land there. There we are. I guess I had that tree over there. As I come in closer, around the edge there, I'm going to use this shorter side of the palette knife. Just get that on there. There we go. Now I can come back. And maybe I bring this little path down right in front of that. That way we have the shoreline you can see over there, and then this, it's kind of goes down that dip to that shoreline. There we go. As I said, this tree is over here and this is still some water. He's right there at the edge of the water. Knock some of the paint off that, and just very lightly, oh, I may have done it a little too heavy, but that's okay. You can just bring it back. That's just some muddy water there. Just some muddy water. There we are. All right. So we have some of those trees. And let's do another right here. This one, will make this the tallest tree. Comes right here. Just bring that right down. Now we can even come back to that liner brush. We want to put some branches maybe sticking out from this. They got burned off right there, right there. Maybe one over here. Another one on this. And just give him some little things here. There we go. And just put some feet on these guys, right where they dig into the ground. Do the same over here. Those old charred roots. There we are. Maybe you want to even put some highlight on that tree. There we go. Just coming back with a little bit of gray. That way the tree, it's not just one flat color. We're just getting some of this gray, some of this white. We'll even come get some more of that titanium white. Let's mix that in there so we can lighten this up just a little. Just a little, just. There we are. Over to this one as well. Now we've done the land here. And there's not much light here, but let's just say, oh, let's just give these guys some shadow here. Just a little bit back there. We'll just say, and you want to make sure if you're going to do some shadows, just make sure they're all running the same way. Sometimes old Timbo forgets to put some shadows in. And there's something you just say, oh, there's something not right about that. Well, it's because it wasn't leaving a shadow. And we'll soften that out. You'll see in just a minute. Just a minute. There we go. There we are. Well, we got a few more here. Few more here. There we are. I think I got them all. Now, what we'll do is we're just going to come back. Oh, just this soft, dry brush. This one right here, I don't know. That's maybe a, I don't even know. It has a number 5 on there. I don't know what that 5 means. And we just soften some of these out. Oh, that was a stick on the ground. Whoops. That's okay. That's okay. We don't want those shadows there to be real strong. We just want them to be present. Oh, be sure you don't erase some trees here. There we are. Those ones in the back, those are pretty soft. Oops, dropped that brush. That's okay. That's okay. Now I'm just taking that liner brush. I messed up. I went right over this tree, but that's okay. I just come right back there. Problem solved. Problem solved. All right. So there's our desolation. But it wasn't empty. That's right. It was not empty. Let me see. Let me see. We're going to come here. And we had some visitors to this land. Oh, let me get my palette the right way. I just grabbed this brush, this little brush. Now we're going to have, we have Mr. Bilbo here. Let's see if I can do a horse. See if I can do a horse, or a pony rather. We're just putting the horse in here. Now, we did this a few weeks ago. And we had Mr. Bilbo on there. I'm not the best at painting these horses and things. I'm just putting in the shape of this horse. Oh, yes. Maybe it'll come up. There's a bit of a head here. That's the back of the horse's head. And don't worry, our Mr. Bilbo will be on there. And then, of course, Balin was right in the back with him. Balin was back there with him, so let's put in Balin's horse. Balin's horse is right here. And to put these horses in, we're just kind of doing an upside down U. Leave it a little skinny at the bottom for their legs. That's how you do that. And then the rider will be right here. Horse has a leg there, and of course, horse's head there, pony's head. I keep saying horse. These aren't men, these are dwarves. They don't ride full-size horses. And we have, oh, there's some more dwarves here, so we're just going to put in quickly, we'll put in shape of some of these horses. We'll come back and we'll put their riders on their back. There we go. Not too detailed as they get further and further away. And of course, the spacing between the horses gets smaller and smaller as they get further away. That's just that perspective you want to keep in mind. There we go. So as you get further away, you don't need to keep those numbers, keep those details quite as close. You just have to remember, just remember your basic shapes there. And they'll be just coming this way. There we go. How many do we have there? We have old Mr. Bilbo. Old Mr. Billow. I guess at times he liked to billow. But Bilbo is on this horse, and we have Dwalin and maybe Ori, Nori, Dory, Feely, Bomber, Bifer, Bofer. Oh. Feely and Keely, did I say them? Oin and Glowing. Or I think the proper way to say Oin and Glowing is Owen and Glowin'. That's right. That's the proper way to say it. Owen and Glowin'. But I always like to say Owen and Glowing. I think that's how I first heard it. Owen and Glowin' reminds me of my time at the Green Dragon. When I'm there, afterwards I'm owing some money, but I'm glowing as I leave. That's right. My rosy cheeks. Oh, I guess it's not really a glow, it's high blood pressure. But that's what happens if you have a few too many pints. There we go. These dwarves just keep going. Just keep going back this way. And of course, the further away you get, the less and less details there are on them. And they're going down over this hill. So that's quite a party of horses. That is right, of ponies. I keep saying horses. There we go, this guy. Bring it down there. Then, of course, I'm just going to clean off that brush. Just going to come to some of this black. Let's give that horse a tail if we can. That pony. Let's give that pony a tail. And a mane here. Come back, get some more of that ivory black. And this pony needs a tail. And maybe a mane up there. And this pony. There we go. And how about some hooves? We need to get some hooves on these guys. Their feet can't just be skinny like that. There we go. Just put these in. And of course, old Timbo, I do better at clouds and mountains and trees than things like horses and people and that sort of thing. But I like to try and keep myself trying new things. There we go. Clean off that brush. Oh, that's a small one. Maybe you're not beating the Sauron out of that. Maybe you're just beating Worm Tongue out of that. There we go. There we go. Now, like I said, I grabbed some color here. I have these colors because they had some cloaks. And we're going to put our dwarves on these horses. Maybe if we can get the paint to cooperate. But, oh, we'll say Thorin is up here. He had a sky blue cloak and hood. So we'll give some of that color up there. Now, we put him up there. Oh, Mr. Bilbo, of course. Let's put Mr. Bilbo back here. We're going to put him, he was on, we'll say, this very last horse. Let's see if we can get this paint. Of course, he's closest to us, so we'll have more detail on him. And we'll say he had his red jacket. Just coming up to some of that alizarin crimson. And we'll put it in here. There we go. And of course, he had some green pants, so we'll just come to that sap green. And we'll give him his pants here. I guess he needs an arm that's holding a rein. As I said, the details on old Mr. Bilbo here will be more so than our other dwarves up there. So let's make a color for his feet. Just gonna take some yellow ochre, mix it with some of our titanium white. There we go. We're not going to spend a lot of time doing this. You can come back. If you put colors in now, you come back and you want to change them up later, you can. But we'll give him his big old hobbit feet here. Big old hobbit foot, that might have been a little too big, but that's okay. As I said, you can always come back and change some of these details. Here's his hand holding the rein. Maybe his head right here. We'll take some of this Van Dyke brown and we'll mix that in with some of this yellow ochre. We'll make a color for his hair. And we'll put some hair on his head right here. Right here, Mr. Bilbo's hair. Oh, such beautiful hair. There we go. And again, as that dries a little bit, you can always come back and freshen up those details once it dries. Now we said that old Balin is right there, and he has a scarlet hood. So let's go with a scarlet hood. Let's just grab some of that phthalo blue, some of that alizarin crimson. Might be a little too dark. Let's grab a little bit of this bright red down here. We've got this scarlet color. We can always come back and highlight if it's too dark. Oh, yes, right here. That is not very scarlet. Let's just take some of our bright red. Maybe some titanium white. Maybe if we put some titanium white up here. That blue is very powerful. So be aware that blue is very, very powerful. There we go. Getting a bit more of a scarlet color here. Maybe a little more alizarin crimson in there. There we go. We don't need a lot. Just a bit there. And we'll take some red and just highlight that. Highlight that dwarf that's on there. All right. Now, let's go back to that color we had for old Mr. Bilbo. Get some of that. We'll put a face, just the back of the face right here. Old Balin. And then we'll come with some titanium white. And we'll put his white hair on his head. Grabbing some color from his hood. We don't want to turn his hair purple. He's not in college, that's for sure. He's far beyond that. And we'll give him a little beard here. There we go. There's that dwarf. Then maybe in front of him, we have Dwalin. His hood was a dark green. So we have the sap green. We'll just call that our dark green. We'll call that a dark green. We'll put this right here. There we go, just getting that green on. And then as we go up further, we'll just drop in some colors for these other guys. So we had a pale green on some of them. There we go. Let's do that. Let's drop in this pale green. Oh, we'll put the pale green right here. Feely and Keely, they both had blue. We'll take some of our phthalo blue. Let's take it up here. And we won't say it was as dark as Thorin's, so we're just going to get some of our white, our titanium white, and we'll put it here. Now they had silver belts, some of them had gold belts, but we're not going to worry about those details with this. They're not very close to us, so we won't worry about that. We'll say Feely and Keely were there up by Thorin. And gray-brown, I believe, was Ori and Nori. I believe theirs was gray-brown, so we'll just come to this brown right here. Go into this gray. And we're just going to come up. And we'll say maybe one of them was right here. One of them was right here. Maybe it was Bifer or Bofer who had a yellow or pale green. I can't remember which. I can't remember all of them. Oh, what their robes were. We'll say we had a yellow here. They were very colorful, they were. Here we are. Let's take some of this red. We had another purple one. That's not a very good purple. I'm just mixing some titanium white. Trying to get a bit of a pink, and then I'll grab some blue and see what I can do with that. Maybe grab some of that phthalo blue. I think an aquamarine blue would have been better for this. We'll just call that purple. We'll just call it. It doesn't take much blue to take over. Not at all. We're just going to call that one purple. And we'll just put it here. Some more. Now you can't really see the colors up there. So let's come back. I've got my liner brush. I'm just going to take some of my titanium white, and we're just going to put some white hair on these guys. There we go. That way it doesn't look like you have a whole team of headless horsemen. Oh, that would be scary. If you had a whole team of headless horsemen riding at you. That would not be a good day. I'd turn around and go home, I would. Oh, and Bilbo got right into that reflection. I didn't plan that out well. I got him right into that reflection of that tree, and it looks like he's fading away. Like maybe Thanos snapped his fingers and old poor Bilbo is fading away. No, that's just the reflection from the tree that got in there. Don't worry, it's not inevitable. There we are. I don't even know if I had all of them or not. There we go. There we go. I'm just going to come to some of that alizarin crimson. Try to define his back a little more. Just so you don't think he's fading away. There we go. There's old Bilbo. And maybe we'll come into this yellow ochre. Try and get his hair defined a little bit better. Just making some separation from that tree, that reflection we did there. There we are. All right, there we have it, the Desolation of Smaug. As our dwarves and Mr. Bilbo, of course, ride through there. Of course, now there's more details I didn't paint here. Oh, Dwalin and Bilbo, they each had a pony riding next to them that was just carrying goods and ropes and all those things they'd need to climb the mountain when they got there. Maybe some supplies, some food, that sort of thing. But we'll just leave it at that for now. I hope you enjoyed this painting today. A pretty simple one, not a lot of colors that we did, but I just wanted to come in. I wanted that to feel like there was no color there because there was no grass, no bushes, no nothing. All of that had been destroyed long, long ago. It's a very lonely place to cross. At least they were with friends. That's right. Now I appreciate all of you being here. I appreciate you coming along, joining me. And if you hit that subscribe and like button, that really helps me out. All right. I hope you have a good week. Goodbye and God bless.